Hey everyone, it's Kadejia. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can get a notification when I post a new video. So welcome back to my channel. And as you know, I recently graduated from nursing school. I passed my NCLEX and I am now a ICU registered nurse. And I've been working for about a month now. So stay tuned for me posting a the life of a new grad RN video or some sort like that. So just stay tuned for that. But this video here, I want to talk about should you or should you not accelerate. Meaning I want to talk about the ins and out of the accelerated program that I did and just, you know, give an insight on what it was like and just to help you make that decision on if it's for you or not. The program I did was the Accelerated Masters of Nursing Pathway program. So for this particular program, you had to have at least a bachelor's degree. You had to have at least a 3.0, take the GRE, but you could waive the GRE if you had a certain GPA. I think if it was above maybe a 3.2, something like that, if you had a certain GPA, you were able to waive the GRE. Some of the class requirements was anatomy, physiology, microbiology, chemistry 1 and 2, pre-cal, descriptive statistics, developmental psychology, and nutrition. As well as letters of I think you had to have 3 letters of recommendation. You had to write an essay and submit your transcripts like usual. So those were some of the requirements. So as long as you had those requirements, you could have a bachelor's degree in anything, because you were going to be taught the things that you didn't know. You just needed those basic classes, similar to the BSN, where the first 2 years is you're getting your prerequisites or your core classes done, and then you move into the nursing classes. So ours was with a BSN, what would be 5 semesters was in 3 semesters. So it was 18 credits for the spring, 22 for the summer, and 18 for the fall, if I'm not mistaken. So it was super busy. Like first semester, it was pharm. You can see some of the books back there. It was ATIs, pharm, med surg, mental health. I can tell you exactly what I took. First semester I had fundamental nursing, foundational skills, adult health 1. I had pharmacology, pathophysiology, mental health, and then I had nursing practicum, which was my clinicals. And then my second semester I had adult health 2. I had clinicals part 2. Nursing care of women and children, which is my peds and OB, newborn and OB. Then I had my clinicals for my peds and OB. Then I had pathophysiology 2, health promotion, and concepts of transitional care. And then for my third semester, I had adult health 3, synthesis review, which was like preparing for the ATI exam. I had vulnerable populations as well as my vulnerable population clinicals. I had professional leadership and roles. Then I had my evidence-based practice, and then I had my clinical synthesis and role immersion, which was actually my preceptorship. So I took all of those classes. Again, it was 18, 22, and 18 if I'm not mistaken. So balancing classwork with actual having clinical and being in the clinic. So it was like a scale at the beginning. It was classwork heavy and with some clinicals, but towards the end it was heavy in clinicals, light in classwork. So it kind of just like flipped like that. Like in the summer, it was kind of balanced where it was a lot of class, a lot of clinicals, which is why it's more semesters. But then in the fall, it was more clinical hours, less class, less actually being in the class. So it was a pretty good balance. It took a lot of time management. You know, it was sometimes, especially, well, during the first semester, you know, you're trying to get acclimated to everything, your schedule, you're figuring out how to take exams. So it's kind of stressful at first because you don't know what to expect. But once you get in a rhythm and a groove and you figure out how to take the exams and what way to study works best for you, it's pretty attainable. Again, you still have to have time management and prioritize your time and all that stuff. But you can do it. You can do it. Another good thing I did was, a lot of people say if it's something that you did before you started school, like for instance, I was going to the gym, continue to do that. Don't just stop, because it's like you still have to have, even though you're in a rigorous program, you still have to have self-care. So I still made time for that. Granted, I might have had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go before class, but I made it work for me. So, you know, whatever that item or whatever that hobby is for you, try to squeeze in time so you can still do whatever it is that you like to do. As far as the stress level, at the beginning, like I said, there was stress, only because you didn't know what to expect. But once you got over that, what it is that you expected, how you need to study, what works best for you, then it kind of got easier as far as figuring out what it is that you need to do and how to prepare. But in the midst of all this, we still had to do ATI things, do ATI prep, like the exams online, and then, you know, get ready to pass our actual ATI exams each semester. So you have our classwork stuff, and then you had ATI. So it was like a matter of just balancing all of it, because ATI is meant to help you pass the NCLEX. So it was just a balance, and I can probably take a poll. Everybody hated ATI, only because it was just extra work. But I mean, I see how it helped. But it was just, you know, just having to put in the extra work, because it's like, oh, I gotta study for the exam. Oh, but I also have to do all these ATI quizzes and this, that, and the third, and it's just like, ugh. But again, everything serves its purpose. Things that I would say you should and shouldn't do. I mean, you should continue to, you know, prioritize yourself. Self-care is ideal, you know. Make sure you get enough sleep. You shouldn't try to stay up all night and cram study, because it's just going to stress you out more. So I would recommend starting, like, if you know you got an exam the next week, start a week ahead. Start, and do not say, because there was times where we had 2 exams in 1 week. Exam on Monday and then turn around and exam on Wednesday. So although, like, you're trying to study for your Monday exam, do not forget about that Wednesday exam. Because I had an exam that I did all into Monday, and then come Monday night, you don't want to study. You say you're going to study and do everything you need to do for your next exam. Come that night, you're tired, you don't want to do it, and now you're trying to get everything in on Tuesday, and then it doesn't work out, or you're really stressed, and it's just trying to recover from that. So I'd recommend, like, for instance, if you had an exam on a Monday and then a Wednesday, I'd say start that week ahead. Try to start on Mondays, Monday, Tuesday, then try to get some in on Wednesday of the next exam, and then kind of like teeter-tot them to slowly make sure you're covering both the material, because it can be very overwhelming if you wait to the last minute to do any type of studying. I recommend, for me, what worked for me was handwriting my notes, whether it was on a whiteboard, when it was time for my pharmacology exams, I was in the library writing on the whiteboards, writing the meds, figuring out little rhymes and ways to help me remember what was what. And I did that with not just with pharmacology, I did that with mental health, because you also have to remember mental health meds, because that is a big portion of the mental health class, learning those medications. And then I'd say figuring out so you're going to get the class and everybody's going to have their own way of studying. Figure out what works for you. Well, a lot of my classmates like to group study. Group studying wasn't a big thing for me. Only because, if you have time, yes. I'm the type of person, I want to go through my material or by myself first. Then I can group study. If I haven't covered my material and understood it with me, and then I try to group study, I'll get confused. I'll get overwhelmed. And that happened to me. The one time that I tried to do a group study, it made me overwhelmed, made me feel like I didn't know anything. And then when I got to that exam, I just blanked. Luckily, it worked out for me. But I had to work hard for the final exam to recover. And, it works for me. So, but if you're good at group studying, go for it. If you're like me, where you need to understand the material on your own, then do that. And if you do it ahead of time, enough time ahead, then you can group study at the end just to refresh on stuff. But I'm the type of person I studied what I need to study. When it's time for exam day, I'm in the classroom, headphones on, like I'm about to go play a basketball game. It reminds me, it's like I'm getting ready. I'm getting locked in. I got my headphones on, blasting gospel music. That's just how I locked in for my exams, getting myself ready, was by listening to my music, being to myself. You can ask people, like when it was exam day, I'm quiet, I'm not really talking, but that's just me. As far as other than exam day, I'm talking to everybody, hey, how you doing, speaking. But exam day, I was locked in, game time, I'm focused. But that's me. And then they have a lot of resources where you can go online, you can buy all these things, but you can also find free resources on YouTube. Finding videos on YouTube to help with certain things. Like for instance, I purchased the Level Up RN flashcards. I looked at those things once. And that's because I like to handwrite. Now, if I would have had more time to go through stuff, then go look at them. Yeah, sure. But I had a classmate who made flashcards. It really what works for you. No way of studying is bad. If it works for you, do it. I don't care what anyone else around you is doing. Do what works for you. I had classmates who made flashcards. I had classmates who used Quizlet. I had classmates who just group studied, who wrote stuff on on the whiteboard, who just talked out loud, who watched videos. It's endless. You do whatever it is that is for you. And then, so that's for studying. I recommend you can still go out and do whatever you need to do to have fun, but just prioritize your studying. If you know you got an exam coming up, if you ain't studied, then you don't need to be going out that weekend. I'm just saying. But as long as you do what you need to do and get it out the way, then you can go have a blast. Do whatever. Just prioritize your time. Because you have to remember, it is accelerated. It means it's fast. Quick turnaround. Every time you finish something, there's always something else. There's always something else. When you finish one assignment, there's always another assignment due later on. So it's like using your time wise. Like I had a classmate who we got certain assignments were released. Like with the beginning of the semester, before we got into exams, they was finishing up assignments. Like I wanted to be like that, but I could not make my mind do those assignments. It's like I gotta have a clock right here saying I was about almost due to make me jump fire. I don't know what it was, but I had classmates that finished up like certain things that was due mid-semester was already done. So you can do that. Like if the stuff is open and you have the time, you can get assignments done early. So you have less stuff to do, especially when you get into clinicals. Because then when you get into clinicals, like for us, we had to do write-ups on our patients and nursing plans and stuff like that. So getting assignments out the way to help you is ideal, and it is very smart, instead of waiting to the last minute to do everything. Because if you wait to the last minute, there's 9 times out of 10 you got an exam coming up and you need to study for your exam, but you also got assignments that you need to do, and it could pile up on you really fast. You can become overwhelmed really fast, especially in accelerated. So time management, getting a planner if you want to put it in your phone, put wherever you need to put, write it down. I had a planner, and I might not look at it all semesters, but at the beginning of the semester I wrote down all my assignments, and I might open it once a week, but I wrote down the assignments so I knew. And then with us, we had Canvas, so I was able to sync it to my phone, so I was able to see when I had assignments due on my phone too, along with looking at Canvas. And it was a goal of mine to clear that assignment list, to get it to 0. But with that, no procrastination, stay ahead of the game. Just, stay focused. As far as classes, when I had class during the first semester, I had class. It was supposed to be Monday through Thursday, but at the beginning of the semester, because we missed a few Mondays because of holidays and whatnot, we had to make up those days on Fridays, which were skill days. And then once we finished all of those, I think we had maybe 1 or 2 Fridays off. But and then I had Friday clinicals, so I had those 1 or 2, and then I started my clinicals on Friday. So I was in class Monday through Friday. Some people had clinicals on Saturday, some people had them on Sunday. I had mine on Friday, so I had class Monday through Friday. On Mondays, I had skills from 8:30 to 3:30. Then on Tuesdays, I had a class from 8 to 11. Then a class from 12 to 2. Then on Wednesdays, I had class from 9 to 12. And then class from 1 to 4. Then on Thursdays, I had class from 9 to 11. So also, I think some of my classmates had clinicals on Thursday afternoon. So when we finished class, they was getting ready for clinicals. So some of them was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because they had clinicals on Thursday. I had clinicals on Friday. Then some had Saturday, Sunday. So I was finishing up. My short day was on Thursdays, 9 to 11. Then the other days I was finishing anywhere from between 2 and 4. And that was my summer semester. Now for the fall, I had class from 8 to 1, and then from 2 to 5. So I was in class from about 8 to 5 on Mondays. Tuesdays I had an online class, and then I had my community health clinicals Tuesday afternoon or sometime on Tuesday. Then on Wednesdays I had class from 9 to 11, and then 12 to 4. And then Thursdays was my off day. Fridays I had my adult health clinical, and Saturdays I had OB clinicals. So that was my my summer schedule once we actually started clinicals. I feel like, I don't know if I was completely off on Thursday or if I had something to do. I can't remember. Once it happens, it's like it leaves your brain. I don't remember. In the fall, I had class on Mondays, and then I had my preceptorship once we actually got that started. I also had a lot of simulations. We had simulations throughout the year, and things like that. I just didn't write down my schedule, so I don't have this. Yes, here it is. So on Mondays, I had class from 8 to 11, and then from 12 to 4. On Tuesdays, I had class from 9:30 to 11. Wednesdays, I had community health rotations. Thursday I had my psych rotation. And then we started, once I finished, I didn't start preceptorship until October. So that's when in October I was finished with my clinicals. I was finished with my community health rotation and then my psych rotation. So community health was like places in the community. Like we did something where we did these little assessments for a particular community. I had other places who were at like adult senior citizen places, places for people with intellectual disabilities. Anything like that could be would be possible for our community health rotation. Yes, I finished, so I'm happy. Okay, so sorry about that. As far as how I wore my exams, our exams were taken on computers, online. No one does our undergrad. It was Scantrons, filling the bubble. Now they give us our computers to take our exams. And it's multiple choice selecting. Well, some of them was, multiple choice select all that apply. Drop down boxes. There were no like fill in the blank. Well, some of my exams they would ask like short little things, but it wasn't pertaining to like a particular question, but it'd be where you had to fill in something. Now some of our quizzes were fill in the blank, but our exams usually were all multiple choice, select all that apply, drop down boxes and things like that. Most exams were, I think 50 to 60 questions, something like that. But they weren't, terrible. Now when we got into doing the ATI, that comprehensive ATI, it's 150 questions. Ugh, 3 hours. It was like long. Like practicing for that thing, it was like, because it's like for ATI, to prep for ATIs, what I did was I retook the practice exams, go through that question, anything I struggle with, go through that material. But that was my way of prepping. But just, it was so long. But other than that, it was good. As far as should you accelerate or should you not? I say go for it. You really have to weigh the odds. Like, what are your certain situations? Like, for me, I already had a bachelor's degree, and I was trying to transition into nursing. So it was really helpful for me. So, because it's like I'm still moving forward instead of changing it or having to go, because I was like, I went to the next level as far as obtaining my master's instead of having to get another bachelor's degree or something like that. So it was ideal for me. So it's really like figuring out what it is that you want to do. I highly recommend it if you're in a place where you have that bachelor's degree but I don't think all programs are accelerated master's programs. I think they have accelerated bachelor's program. Just in my case, it was accelerated master's. But it's just faster. So if it works for you, I say do it. If you can balance time management, self-care, be able to not be overwhelmed so easy, I'd say do it, because it gets you there. You're still learning the information. Granted, you're having to learn more at one time, but you're still getting the information in. It's like you're continuously learning, and you will continue once you, even after you graduate, you're still continuously learning, because like what they say, NCLEX world is not the real world, or it doesn't always line up or match, because there are certain things that they say by the book and then certain things that you actually learn in person. So I say either way. I hope I answered all the questions that you all have. If you have any more questions, just comment below. Message me or anything like that, and I am happy to answer. I look forward to trying to make more videos for you guys, and I pray that you continue to have a great day, great week, great month. Happy Black History Month. Just keep focusing, keep putting God first, and things will work out for your good. I love you guys, and I pray you all have a great week. Bye.